You gotta get the ads in there. You have to. Build that thing. You gotta build that thing. And let me tell you, you see this game right here? Hero Wars? The game is nothing like this. And I'm sure you've seen other advertisement for it where he's running around and he's got a 2 over his head. And he goes up against a monster. It's a 1. He kills it, and then he gains a point. He's now got 3. The next guy's a 2. He kills him. He's now a 5. And then he kills the next person who's a 4. The game is nothing like that. I got tricked into it, okay? So I downloaded it. It's free. And I tried it. It's nothing like this. It's nothing like that. You never see any of this in the game. It's all it is a side scroll thing. It's all it is. And it is just, it's a gotcha game. And it's awful. It's absolutely awful, dude. Do never play this game because these advertisements look nothing like the game.
This fake TikTok dentist spent years flexing a luxury lifestyle online, drilling into people's teeth without a license, selling 2-day veneer certifications with mimosas included, and he thought he was untouchable until prosecutors dropped the 113-count indictment on him.
I was there as investigators raided Brandon Diller's Northeast Atlanta.
Whenever somebody thinks they're untouchable, they get touched up.
A dental office. It looked like the real thing. He had more than 157,000 followers on Instagram, but this new indictment charges him with 113 different charges, including RICO, 51 counts of theft by deception, and 21 counts of battery.
Wow. When you get that RICO tied in there, you're in some trouble, buddy. But imagine this. The guy, no education whatsoever in school for dental. What was it called? A DDS or something like that? No education. He's not even a real dentist, right? He's just pretending to be one. He goes out and creates himself a job. When a good portion of the American public can't get a job right now, right? It's a struggle to find a job, a good paying job. And this guy goes out and makes himself a fucking millionaire overnight. Like that. Just pretending to be a dentist. Now, I'm not saying you should do this. It's wrong. It's totally wrong. But he had the wherewithal to do that. So if you had that kind of intellect, why didn't you just do something that was legal and still make the money, right?
Yes! This could have happened to a better person. Thankfully, there's now one less scumbag drilling into people's teeth without a license. But the wildest part of the story is, if you add up all the charges and he gets the max sentence, he's literally facing 888 years in prison. Obviously, he won't get that, but that's still a diabolical number for a fake TikTok dentist. The dude just couldn't stop documenting himself, breaking the law, and allegedly hurting so many victims. But this is definitely not the first time this guy's shown up here on this channel. But this time, I'm actually able to say he's officially been hit with a whole bunch of charges. And it's definitely not a small amount either. 113 counts. Which...
God damn. Okay, let's look at this. 1 count of violation of the Georgia RICO Act. Right off the bat. 54 counts of theft by deception. 24 counts of practice of dentistry without a license. And 2 counts of practice of medicine without a license. 21 counts of battery. 6 counts of possession of dangerous drugs. 1 count of theft by taking. 1 count of commercial gambling. Like, where does that come in? 1 count of conspiracy to commit insurance fraud. Yeah, like, no shit. They're probably... The one that'll get them the most is probably the insurance fraud. Because you can't fuck with them insurance companies. Hell no! Performing a practice without a medical license. Possession of drugs. Battery. Theft. Gambling? No. Insurance fraud? You're going to jail for life, buddy. Don't fuck with them insurance companies. 1 count of conspiracy to defraud political subdivision of the state. Yeah, that one will get you too. And 1 criminal solicitation to commit a felony. Just threw that. I think they just threw that one in there.
Just more than I think we've covered ever? Maybe? Have I ever covered someone getting hit with 113 counts?
I don't think so.
But today
Yeah.
I'm talking about Brandon Dillard. the man who promoted himself online as Atlanta's top veneer specialist. Dillard was running a multi-million-dollar unlicensed dental operation for years, and a grand jury returned an indictment with counts including violations of Georgia's RICO Act, dozens of counts of theft by deception, and multiple charges relating to practicing dentistry and medicine without a license. And Georgia's RICO Act is basically a law that lets procedures charge someone for running an ongoing criminal operation. But not just one isolated crime. Basically, it's used when the state believes a person committed repeated illegal acts as a part of their business scheme.
So P. Diddy got hit with a RICO Act. Yep.
So typically you see it in organized crime cases, but this time it's for a fake veneer scheme. His arraignment is scheduled for this month, January of 2026, and at the time of recording this video, the actual date isn't scheduled. But what I do know is that the state is treating this as an organized crime enterprise. So it doesn't seem like they're going to be going too easy on him. And what makes this update especially wild is the timing, because I had to go catch up on what Brand has been up to recently since we last covered him, and it's safe to say the dude has not been laying low at all. Because right up until these charges landed, he was still posting nonstop online. Luxury cars, designer clothes, high-end lifestyle, meant to show off, I guess, success and confidence and status, but in reality, it seems like he's just an insecure man who might have made his riches from illegally drilling into people's teeth. So while prosecutors were out there building a case that stretches all the way back to 2021, Brandon was still on social media posting like nothing was ever happening. And the sick part of this is, according to investigators, that money came from people who trusted him with their teeth. And now he has potentially permanently altered their teeth forever. The dude is...
Yeah, and he, like, where did he learn how to do it? Like, you know he's not doing this shit correctly. He just watched a YouTube channel or something? Like, there's no fucking way he's learning how to do this. How did he even... My question here, how did he even have the ability to open up an office? It's got to be a pretty good-sized office, right? He had to have hired all nurses, a receptionist, he has a waiting room, the magazine subscriptions, right? He's buying all this drugs and anesthesia and all this shit. Like, where does he get the money for it, right? Do you just get a loan? So if you go out and you get a loan, you have to explain what the loan's for. So did he not check into this shit? So you would have to investigate where he got the money from, too, if you got a loan.
Is a prime example of someone who needs to get backhanded by the law. But if you have not heard of Brandon Dillard before, here's a short version of it. He operated under the name of A-List Smiles Atlanta and claimed to be a veneer technician, a title that legally does not even exist. It's made up on TikTok to sell awful dental services to people who don't know better, unfortunately. And we've been covering him for years here on this channel, because if you know anything about me, I hate social media scammers. I despise people who use their online platforms to hurt strangers who trust them. And also, he offered cosmetic dental...
And he does. So his name is Atozy. A-T-O-Z-Y. And the story behind his name was he wanted to make his name A to Z, and he somehow accidentally put a Y in there, or it was already taken. So he just added a Y at the end to make it sound cool, like Atozy, instead of A to Z. So that's where his name came from. But he's right. He does do this. He goes after people. Well, not really goes after them, but he makes good videos about him. He gets a lot of decent research on them. And he's usually he's like 98% accurate on getting information on the topics he's talking about. He's really worth a look. He even travels throughout the country to follow like court cases and shit like that every once in a while. So this guy's pretty dedicated to his channel. He's been around for a while. He's almost at 2 million subs. So another 40,000 subs and he'll be at 2 mil. So if you get a chance, go ahead and give him a like and give him a sub and look at some of his videos and give him some likes, man. Give him some love. But he's right. This guy does not like this shit. And he does go after him on here.
Procedures at a fraction of the cost of a licensed dentist, and also sold expensive training courses to teach others how to do the same thing. So all of this is taking advantage of how incredibly expensive the U.S.
So he was training other people how to be a dentist.
I guess medical and dental care is, which makes these schemes even more sinister because he's targeting desperate people that cannot afford real dental health care. And obviously, when he inevitably wrecks their teeth, they then have to go to real dental health care and get their stuff fixed after they paid him a whole bunch of money. So then
and then pay 3-4 times the cost to get it fixed.
Pay the real cost plus the tax of paying for his scam. But these guys do this shady business crap.
There's no tax.
They get a whole bunch of money, and they can't help themselves when it comes to selling courses. So, of course, it's not enough scamming people and, drilling on people's teeth when you don't even have a license. Now, they have to figure out, oh, well, I could make more money by teaching other future scammers how to do this. So we can just wreck way more people's teeth together. Wow! Again, these guys deserve to get backhanded by the law. But at this point, I feel like it's just kind of like a pipeline, because shady businesses almost always equal to shady courses. Because those courses promise fast money and quick success, all without dental school, licensing, or medical oversight. So, essentially, as I said previously, he was teaching other people how to illegally wreck people's teeth. And to make things even worse or better, because at least now he's getting caught, the dude was an idiot. He was not subtle about anything at all. He posted procedures online.
And that's usually what does it, man. When you just can't keep the shit quiet. You just can't do it. Keep your mouth shut. Do it for 2-3 years, however long you think you can get away with it. And I'm not saying commit crimes. I am not advocating it. I'm just saying you do it for as long as you need to get the money that you think you can live off for the rest of your life, and then fucking walk away. Walk the fuck away, and then get the fuck out of the country. Right? No, this guy, he has to post TikToks about shit, putting a footprint all over the fucking world on the internet that he's doing this shit and committing crimes. Not to mention his lavish lifestyle. Bragging. And let me tell you, when somebody brags, or when somebody says, I'm not bragging, but yeah, they're going to go down.
He marketed everything directly on TikTok and Instagram. And that's why I kept calling him a TikTok dentist or a TikTok veneer tech, because that's what he was calling himself. Because, he legally couldn't call himself a dentist, but therefore he came up with the loophole of being like, guys, I'm a veneer tech. It's not only him. There's a whole bunch of them on TikTok. Hopefully, they're scared now. But he showed off his results, client reactions, and behind-the-scenes content like it was just like any other influencer business. And for a long time, apparently it worked, because people flew from out of state and paid thousands of dollars. But law enforcement says this was all never legitimate. Prosecutors alleged that Dillard performed damaging dental procedures, trained others to do the same, and collected millions of dollars while knowing he was not legally allowed to do any of it. And I swear, every time I cover his cases, my teeth start phantom hurting just by imagining him shaving down people's teeth and saving cheap veneers. From AliExpress, by the way. That is complete speculation, by the way, but it seems like that's true.
We got veneers at home. You know what I mean? From Wish.
One of my previous videos covering him, we found the set of teeth that they were shilling in their courses, and it looked identical to the one they were selling on AliExpress. So imagine paying
They sell that shit. Whatever,
thousands
dude.
of dollars to get the AliExpress special in your teeth that you now have to live with forever. Yeah, no. And what makes this stuff even worse is like you had a bunch of dentists screaming at TikTok saying, hey, these guys are putting veneers on decayed teeth, which, is an absolute nightmare and could be life-threatening. And that's exactly what prosecutors were saying as well, because they were saying their patients were put at risk, not just financially, but medically as well. Patients were sharing horror stories about infections, broken teeth, and massive...
Yeah, so like a tooth infection can kill you. It's basically like poison, and it can get into your bloodstream, and it could fucking kill you, man.
Repair bills. And still, the operation just kept going. In fact, it grew so much that prosecutors say that this went on for years. From 2021 through late 2024, he brought in millions of dollars.
Last fall, we watched Brandon Dillard appear from jail before a judge. Dillard called himself Atlanta's top veneer specialist, but Fulton County...
So who is the other guy? What's this guy? A 2-day veneer course. And who's the white guy?
District Attorney Fonnie Willis calls him a dangerous criminal.
This is an illegitimate operation.
Last October, we were the only media there as investigators raided A-List Smiles Atlanta. Prosecutors allege that Dillard pocketed more than $4 million from 2021 to... Atlanta. Prosecutors allege that Dillard pocketed more than $4 million from 2021 to 2024 while
$4 million. So, it's 4 years. 21, 22, 23, 24. It's 4 years. So he made about $1 million a year. So when you get to that 2 million mark, 2.5 for taxes, you know, you need to lock them fucking doors, empty out the office, and get the fuck out of there. Go fucking live someplace overseas, man.
the indictment alleges patients suffered damage to...
He got greedy, bro. And he went for 4, and he was probably trying to go for 5 to 10, and then he was probably going to cut out, but he got greedy.
Their teeth and mouths. Last year, Christy Brown told me she paid Dillard $3,000 for veneers. Her dentist immediately noticed problems with at a clinic.
The way it was put on, he just kept asking who did this.
Brandon Dillard is not a dentist. As much as he may want to play one on Instagram, he is not one.
$4 million. You have to own a very large dental practice as a legitimate dentist to make that kind of money. Like, don't get me wrong, dentists make good money, especially if they own their practice, but to get to $4 million and what 4 years, so that's $1 million a year, that's a pretty big practice. So he was making well over what most actual dentists was when he wasn't even an actual dentist. Probably because he focused on the cosmetic dentistry.
More than double what an actual dentist makes.
And sold all these courses. Also, maybe, he allegedly also bought the teeth that he used as veneers from AliExpress, so, the cost of goods that he was selling was very cheap. Allegedly, again. But honestly, at this point, things are just kind of predictable. Like, because this kind of scam survives for so long in plain sight, because when something looks, I guess, confident enough, people stop asking the basic questions. Which is probably why, even though he's in a whole bunch of legal trouble, he still posted stuff like this.
Yeah.
So before we watch that, so he's right. He's 100% right. And this is how things that people get away with things for such a long time. One, to either hide it really well, or they're really, really confident and arrogant about it, right? Maybe not arrogant so much, but arrogance does, I think, applies to confidence sometimes if you're overconfident. But if you can speak well about it, you can present everything really well, walk and talk your way through shit with people, then you gain their trust, man. It sounds like you're a professional, and no one's ever going to question you. So I'm wondering if this guy, like, if you ever go into a dentist office or a doctor's office, they have all their fucking diplomas and shit on the wall and certificates. I wonder if he had that. Because if he had that, and you walk into there with the promise that you're going to have to pay a lot less than normal to get your teeth fixed, then you're just going to fucking do it, man. You know what I mean? You're going to take the gamble.
Which is probably why, even though he's in a whole bunch of legal trouble, he still posted stuff like this.
Yeah. We popping out Chanel bags, but we never see you in the store. We never see you with the champagne. We might not even get to see an unboxing. Mind you, y'all be like, come with me to get my nails done. Come with me to do a Sephora.
Why would you spend $6,000 on a purse when someone could just run along and snatch it off you? Why spend $6,000 on a purse? When I was married, I never let my wife spend more than $50 fucking on her purse. Because she always threw it down. We weren't dirty or anything, but she would always just throw it down, and she wouldn't clean the purse. So over time, the purse just gets fucking raggedy and old. And she buys a new purse 6 or 7 months later. Why spend that much money on a purse that's not going to last a long time? For clout? That's dumb.
But that Chanel bag, you didn't say come with me to get a Chanel bag? That bag is fake news. Stop the cash. Sorry, but...
Like, why would you post stuff like that in the middle of an ongoing case? The only good thing about this case is at least he's a dumb criminal who snitched on himself. Like, the dude is being investigated for organized crime, and then he's posting videos about how much money this alleged organized crime made him. Please, someone explain the logic to me. Like, a part of me thinks that he was posting all these videos and buying all this stuff.
It's like stealing a car, and then, you go out for a drive and you park the car in the police station's parking lot to go next door to a restaurant.
To have one last, life of luxury feeling before he gets locked up. But he probably realized, or his legal team realized, this was an awful idea, so he's...
The Mediterranean diet is the world's healthiest diet, and Factor makes it easy to eat that way every day. A true...
He's now deleted all the videos I'm now currently showing. So I'm just saying.
Hey, look. If he's this smart enough to make all this happen, then he should be smart enough to know that when you delete a video, it ain't gone forever, brother. It's still on a server somewhere, and all they got to do, the police is just got to go out and put a subpoena or whatever to TikTok and be like, we want this motherfucker's videos that he deleted. I want this shit brought up. And then they get the videos.
If I can save these videos before they're deleted, then the prosecutors can as well. Because the dude got all this money from a job title that technically doesn't exist legally. Because again, there's no such job as a veneer technician. There's no license to get to become a veneer technician.
There was for 4 years.
In dentistry in Georgia or anywhere else. That term exists almost entirely on TikTok, because it sounds official enough to make people lower their guard. Real cosmetic dentists spend years in school and then years more learning how to do veneers safely. This is not some 2-day course with mimosa kind of thing, because veneers permanently alter the structure of your teeth. They involve grinding, shaping, bonding, and managing how your bite comes together. One small mistake can lead to infections, nerve damage, gum disease, or long-term tooth loss. This is why dentistry is regulated and why only licensed professionals are legally allowed to perform this kind of work. And the reason veneer tech scams spread so easily is cost, because, real veneers are extremely expensive. They can cost anywhere from hundreds of dollars per tooth to into the thousands. And those prices scare people away. So now you have veneer techs filling the gap by offering way cheaper alternatives, but in return, you're getting the worst work done. And very likely, teeth straight from AliExpress. And experts have been warning about this for years. Dentists have said over and over again that these procedures are irreversible and that unlicensed providers often glue veneers over existing decay or infections. And people end up paying so much more later on to undo the damage, sometimes losing teeth entirely in the process. So veneer technicians often display certificates, waivers, and, other stuff they got from their 2-day mimosa veneer technician course. And that's to appear legitimate, but in reality, they're all just frauds. I hate this place. I hate that people can just do this to other people. Which is why I'm screaming as loud as I can to make as many people aware of these scams.
So he'll be made accountable. He probably will get hammered for this. I mean, we'll hope maybe we'll see the outcome here. But he probably will get hammered for this. But then you have all this fraud going on throughout the country with all these Somali shit. Like, we're still waiting for all these people to be hammered, right? This guy's been doing this for 4 years. I guess he's already been through court and sentenced. But the Somali shit, it's been going on for decades. But, no arrests have happened yet.
But according to prosecutors, Brandon Diller didn't just perform these procedures himself. He also sold training courses to teach others how to do the same. Students paid thousands of dollars to learn a skill that could get them sued or charged with a crime as well. So, the charges just keep stacking on him. We got 113 to be exact. But a lot of his victims from the courses later came forward saying they were scammed into believing this is a real career path, only to find themselves facing their own legal trouble when dental boards stepped in. So, come on, guys. But this is why authorities are treating this as organized crime, because from their perspective, it looks like an organized operation built around illegal medical work.
There's one saying that you should always use when faced with these situations. If it's too good to be true, it probably isn't. If you get that feeling like, man, this doesn't seem right, this doesn't seem legit, then that's your gut and your brain telling you, step away.
Which explains the RICO charges. Because even with arrests and indictments, veneer tech content is still all over TikTok somehow. How is this happening still? While digging through all this, I found another creator who posted a full 6-part story time about how she was scammed into becoming a veneer tech herself. And she claims that she was sold the same dream that many others were. The whole fast money, legitimate sounding title, and promising that this was a real skill that you could turn into a business.
Hey y'all, this is my story time on how I got scammed into becoming a veneer tech and lost, I want to say $2,500, but overall it was like a $5,000 investment. and I got sued. Let's start there. I got sued today by North Carolina Board of Dental Examiners.
Guess what? Fast money will always hurt you in the long run. You don't want any of that, because nothing in life is free.
Yep.
Real dentists get paid a whole bunch of money because guess what? It's not easy nor cheap to get through dental school. But then
Yep.
she was invited to attend a course herself. She took classes where she said that everyone talked over each other, but by the end she was given a certificate for completing the course. Nightmare. This is a nightmare situation. You don't want any of these people working on your teeth. And she was then given a list of items to get to start putting veneers on people's mouths. And here she got everything off of eBay and Amazon. Come on. She also did a set on her boyfriend and her family, and even made an Instagram. Again, come on. The comments, I agree with the comments here, because everyone's roasting her, saying that maybe you should have done a little bit of research yourself.
She got the shit off eBay and Amazon.
At no points did any of this feel too good to be true. But obviously, just like everyone else, she got hit with a lawsuit because of this. But the only thing she had to do was sign a statement saying that she would no longer practice putting veneers on people.
Well, okay.
But she lost about $5,000 in the investment process. So
Yeah.
It's safe to say that 113 charges is a whole lot worse than what she got.
Yeah.
And then he had us bring somebody, he brought somebody else in for us to practice on. And he really had us sitting there and using these tools and telling us what to do and how to do these veneers. Now, the second class lasted about 4 hours, and then he gave us all these certificates. So it says Certificate of Completion. Our company is pleased to be able to award this certificate to my name right here upon the successful completion of composite veneers. And it says the date, it says his name, Devon Odueso, and it says that he's an instructor. And they gave us these with the frame and everything. I was like, congratulations, you're now a veneer tech. Yay!
No, she was right the first time. You're not a veneer tech.
So in Brandon's case, authorities are urging anyone who received services from him or participated in training programs
Come
to
forward.
And that alone tells you how wide they believe this operation was. Because when prosecutors ask for victims and trainees to contact them, it usually means they believe there's a whole bunch of people affected here. And to
Yeah.
be clear, no one has been convicted yet. And any sentence would also come after a trial or a plea deal. And that said, obviously, the charges Brandon are facing is very serious. Georgia's RICO charge alone can carry 5 to 20 years in prison per count. You know, if you actually add everything up, he's facing 888 years in prison.
So he still hasn't been through court yet. I get that you have to build a case, but Jesus Christ, dude. If you have all these charges, what are we waiting for?
Prison, which is just diabolical. But in cases like this, sentences often depend on how many victims are actually confirmed and how much money was actually involved. But either way, it's safe
Well, $4 million.
to say that Brandon is now looking at a whole bunch of tough years ahead. So please, guys, just because someone has a whole bunch of followers online, don't trust them to do medical work on you. But hey, drop a like on this video if you want me to actually pull up this trial and cover it from start to finish like I do with so many of the other cases.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're new here, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah, absolutely. So his name's right there, Tozy, Atozy. He does pretty good. He's a good personality. He does a good job with his videos. He gets as much information as he can. I was really hoping that this was already through court and the process has been completed to where we can see the outcome. He's facing 888 years, but he will not see 888 years. That's the thing. And that, well, I mean, what's the point of giving somebody 888 years? Just do life. Yeah, we have to do the charges. We have to do the years for the charges. It's a legality thing. You have to do it. But just fucking life. Just sentence him to life.